Welcome to our top posts. Your not so unique dose of Reddit. Smiley face. AskReddit. What are your thoughts on Rush Limbaugh's announcement that he has advanced lung cancer? While I can't say that I would wish cancer on anyone, and I don't think anybody deserves to die, I can't say I feel much sympathy for him. Just the irony of it all. I'll leave it with this. There is no conclusive proof that nicotine's addictive. And the same thing with cigarettes causing emphysema, lung cancer, heart disease. Rush Limbaugh. His epitaph might as well be, I wouldn't at all be surprised if he somehow blames the Democrats or Obama for this. By Felicia. Wait, he is still alive. He seemed old to me decades ago. He's kind of like Patrick Stewart, looks and sounds older than he is and never ages. Mildly excited that I'll soon be able to use this line. If you gave him an enema he could be buried in a matchbox. I know it's a Hitchens quote. I never understood it, though. It was about Jerry Falwell, I think. It was. Yes, but what does it mean? I'm genuinely curious. It's a clever way of saying he's full of crap. An enema removes crap. So if you remove it all, he'll be small enough that you could bury him in a little matchbox. I hate the guy as an entertainer, and I despise him as a news source, but I don't wish cancer on him. I hope for his sake and his family that he finds health. I'm a Rush fan of 3 decades, and 100% appreciate your words. I have no problem with you disliking him and disagreeing with him. I don't think he is a perfect person, and as a Christian, I kind of giggle over him being an icon to some Christians, because he ain't no choir boy. I have just truly enjoyed listening to him for 30 years and hope that he will be around many more. I wish your man well. Nobody deserves this crap disease. It's yet another reminder that I need to quit smoking. I agree with him on a few things, disagree with him on many things. I would say that I think he's always believed what he said, and that he genuinely wishes the best for America and the American people. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. This is terrible news. He's going to have a difficult path, and the word advanced is really not good. Thank you. I agree with you. No one deserves cancer. Sadly, a lot of not intelligent people on this website cannot comprehend how horrible cancer is. For real. Lung cancer survivor here, laugh emoji. I was only 27 when I lost my dad to cancer. I've also lost my grandfather, my uncle, to cousins, and several friends to it, and my wife's grandmother is currently wasting away from it. I'm genetically vulnerable to lymphoma, and I'm supposed to get screened every year. I've battled depression since my daughter was born, because my dad never got to meet her. I've seen the horrors of cancer time and time again, to the point that it's somewhat shaped my life. And Limbaugh can still get all of the cancer for all I care. Duck him. Goddamned piece of crap. Do you actually think someone deserves cancer for saying things you don't agree with? Don't like the guy, but that's terrible news. Never been a fan of Rush, but I would never wish cancer on anyone. Don't agree with his politics, but I'm respectful of his situation. Glad to hear it. People had to lose their jobs for him to get paid, despite having little advertising. He was a mouthpiece for the Republican Party for years. He spewed hate, racism, sexism, and preyed on the low self-esteem of others. He inspired an entire generation of lying hate-mongers masked as entertainment scene Hannity, Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, Lou Dobbs, etc. I don't care if he's dying of cancer. He wouldn't care about other people if they did. He shouldn't die with dignity. He should know what his entertainment actually did to people. People shrug off what he did because that's what people like him do. What do you mean by jobs that aren't tight? Old people die. More and more are dying of cancer. He's rich enough that he will be more comfortable than most. My thoughts is that everyone should have that privilege. Actually, fewer and fewer are dying of cancer. No, that's the rate. Not the amount of people dying, but only because the population is increasing at a greater rate than cancer treatments and cures can be discovered. The trend for the last 20 years is fewer cancers per capita. Good riddance. I hope lung cancer makes a full recovery. I wouldn't wish Rush Limbaugh on anyone. While I regard Rush as the worst example of humanity in many ways, It is hard to put him in the same situation as my mother, who was his polar opposite. I will not miss him and his hate mongering. But wishing a wasting disease like lung cancer on him is a little too far for me to comfortable go. Perhaps he might have an epiphany looking down the barrel of this horrible death. Thankfully my mom didn't feel pain or real discomfort till the very last. She basically ran out of lung at the end. No fluids or mucus, just less and less lung. She lasted 2.5 years on an estimated 6-month survival. If I could have given her a lung I would have the first diagnosis, but as usual she waited too long to go to the doctor. I miss her greatly. I'm sure there is someone somewhere that will be devastated by his cancer. To them I say, keep your thoughts positive and start making memories. Don't put things off, because time is not on your side. Find ways to enjoy the time you have. And who knows, they might be able to kill the cancer. I won't celebrate this diagnosis, but I won't mourn his passing when it inevitably comes. Don't care too much either way. I find it more interesting how each side plays this. The left, who seem to think they are moral overlords, seem to have no issue with wishing death upon those they deem, yet scream foul when the right does similar things to their champions. In conclusion, it's obvious that the current timeline is all about moral outrage and political correctness and using it to beat your opponent into submission. I just wish the hypocrisy would end, because it's now just becoming annoying. This guy deserves it. He hasn't stirred the pot. He has kicked it over for decades. This isn't like when McCain died. I felt that was hypocrisy, but this guy made a living out of conspiracy theories and maligning people. Basically, live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're okay celebrating someone's death, then don't be offended when someone celebrates the death of someone close to you or ever yourself. You know who deserves a posthumous Medal of Honor? James Earl Ray, the confessed assassin of Martin Luther King. We miss you, James. Godspeed. He spent years of blowing hot air into the world. I think it's good karma and figuring out what shot of liquor to take when he dies. I shall toast the random Redditor on that day. A lot of people are going to take joy in the fact that someone has advanced lung cancer and justify it on the grounds that he was heartless and lacked compassion, while totally missing the irony. As for me, I don't like Limbaugh, but I'm not glad he has cancer. I hear what you're saying, but Limbaugh wasn't being heartless toward one individual anonymously on Reddit. He was consistently heartless toward large swaths of people and consistently misrepresented or falsified claims that manipulated how people felt and acted toward one another. He was incredibly divisive, and, before his painkiller abuse scandal, he was also incredibly popular. There's no doubt that people can choose to be the bigger person in this instance, but doing so will do nothing to overcome the decades he spent sowing hatred and falsehoods, and generally poisoning the country. Ah yes, the old duck one guy in particular clause. That makes it so much better. Okay boomer tumor. I hate this okay boomer crap, but that was funny. Take my upvote, and don't be able to afford a mortgage with it. Exit my planet, and make it ducking snappy. And no cremation, because we wouldn't want to turn a small town into an opium den for a night. Earn no respect, get none. Here. To think reading Reddit, specifically the front page from /news, that pretty much had majority of comments cheering on the fact that this guy's battling a life-threatening disease that odds are he won't make it out of. I'm pretty sure Reddit has removed, or at the least, quarantined channels for less. The fact that he is dying is somehow justified because you dislike his views and voice goes to show you just how ass backwards our parties in this country actually are. I watch the Democrats and they come off as moral arbiters of truth and good in the world, and Republicans must be those evil white guys. Yet I log on to Reddit and read what people think about Rush, and it's no better than logging on to some right-wing organization and their views on, say, Hillary, or Obama, or RBG. The only difference I notice is the mainstream media only focuses on one side being naughty, while cutting a break to the other side for doing the same dumb crap. You know how sometimes you're like, duck XYZ group of people. Then you meet one of them, find common ground, and then you're like, okay maybe not, duck all of them? You know what I mean? Point is, I never thought I'd feel that way about cancer. Poor thing will be homeless soon. Have you thought of adopting? Listen, I said we agree on some things. I'm not really looking for that level of commitment yet. Despite your reluctance, I have a feeling you'd be an ideal adopter for it. And like most early adopters, you'd be doing everyone else a massive favor. You are here, you ducking legend. You've made it till the end. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment. Have a nice day and stay safe. Peace.